Okay, hi, my name is Jim Brown, and I'm going to try to make some more videos on how to make a rolling ball sculpture. I know many of y'all have already watched the how to make a rolling ball sculpture video, or set of videos that are online right now, and I just thought I'd keep trying to record a few of the times I make a rolling ball sculpture just to kind of help y'all out. Maybe you can see some more things on how to make a rolling ball sculpture. As you can see, I have my cardboard work area. I'm doing this inside because it's just propane. I have my little propane torch, and you see I have a nice little trigger start propane. I have the water-soluble plumbing flux, which is different than the greasy type. I kind of like the greasy type a little better. This makes it where you can wash it off a little easier, so that's kind of nice for that. It's a little harder to work with. Some people don't agree, but I do. I believe that. Anyway, I have my 500-foot roll of copper over here and my work tools. So here we go. I usually start out with just making a hook, and then start building the bottom of the sculpture. See, that's the first couple of feet. All right. And then make another foot. So you can see I'm probably going to make it like a four toed or foot little sculpture. I'm not talking about how tall it is, but how many feet there are. Okay, then I usually bring that to the top, make a little indention for putting the track. Maybe try to make each one a little unique, so I'll try to do something different each time. You can see right there I've kind of met up with it, so I'm going to crimp that closed. Okay, and this is a little different, so I'm going to try to make another little indentation for the starting track, and then I want to reach back to somewhere about right there, so I'm going to cut it off and build a little hook and crimp it on right there. So you can see what I have is this weird looking start of a frame, and don't worry about it being perfect. I mean, nothing's perfect in this world. They're all sinners and need to be saved. And obviously this frame needs to be saved a little bit. So we'll see if we can come up with something neat. What you just like to do is make the start where maybe it'll come off at an angle, so it'll have a nice slant coming off. Anyway, it has an interesting look right there, so I'm going to go with that. Okay, and then I put a little flux on the areas that I want to solder. And I try to do more than one solder at a time if I can do that, just because it makes it go a little faster. Okay, turn on the gas first. Get it good and hot. You don't want the solder to be a cold solder joint. You can kind of tell when it's about ready when it flows like water. And now you can see the green flame, that's the copper oxide coming off. There we go. And that's all there is to it. Turn the gas off. So there I have a frame. And you see I kind of touch it really quickly because it's hot. Okay, so now I gotta come up with a track for it. And the way I usually do a track is I figure out that how high this is, and this looks like about, I don't know, 6 or 8 inches tall. So I'm gonna need enough track to do 6 or 8 inches. I figure it's about a foot of wire per inch tall. So it's about, that's one, or maybe a cubit, I guess. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and maybe another turn or two for good measure. Okay, and so that'll be my track. cut it off with my copper shears. You definitely need copper shears. Don't get pliers. Use copper shears. You will thank me for it. Okay, so what I do is I touch the ends together, and then I just follow it down to the one end, and see how that kind of makes it even. And that's about how far my marble needs to be. Kind of try to make it about marble size. And I have some marbles here that I can use for testing. So this will be my test marble. You see that's about right. Okay, so then I kind of bend that end up. So that's my starting area. And you can see at this point the wire is going to want to be unwieldy. So I have to kind of boss it. I have to tell it what I want it to do. Okay, use wooden clothespins. It keeps from scratching up the wire, and it also helps to stick it on real good. And I use some extra ones just to weigh it down so it doesn't walk around on the table. Okay, I'm just going to solder. Let's see, I'll solder 2 joints if I can get away with it. Okay, put a good amount of flux on there. Turn the gas on. Don't worry about burning the clothespins, they're cheap. Put about a BB size worth of solder on there. Okay. Alright, so that side's done, and you can see it's already grabbed a hold. I'm going to do this side now. Now the trick is just hoping that the other side doesn't come apart when I try to solder it. Okay, and there we go. The start of my rolling ball sculpture. Alright, tested it. Looks good. It's a little bit slanted, but that's okay. I can kind of play with the frame a little bit to bend it back maybe. And so there's my start. Okay, so here I am back at it. I'm going to just kind of bend this one so it's not too slanted. Seems to take a little bit of more work than I was hoping, but alright, that looks pretty good to me. And it still rolls really well. Okay, now what I need to do is build a little starting bucket. I like to do that so it makes it easier to start the track. Okay, so I'm going to have it come like this, and so I need to put a nice little curve in it like that. Okay, so it's going to start off like this. I want to bend it about right there. Alright, which means I need to bend it about right there. Let me go ahead and cut it off and do another little hook. Okay, so now I have a nice little starting area. Everybody has to start out right somewhere. And this guy is going to start right there. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that it keeps the marble from falling off. Keep it kind of directed toward the track, so it looks good to me. Got 3 places I need to solder, right, one right there, one on the other side, and one on the back side. Now it looks like I didn't crimp this one good enough, so let me crimp that. Get it nice and crimped. Everything looks pretty good. Okay, it's good and straight, so let's go ahead and get this solder those parts. It takes about 10 or 12 seconds to get it hot enough to start soldering. Oh, I kind of got a little messy with that one. And you can see I've got my finger on the little gas regulator, so I can kind of make it higher or lower if I need to. And you heard that one kind of melted. I didn't like that, but it still held, so it's still good. Okay. So that's good so far. And what I want to do is just start making it go back and forth. Now right now the track is just too hot to mess with, so I'll have to just stop for a moment.